Dark Horse Gang. Welcome back to my channel, my returning subbies. And if you're new, it's your favorite Southern Psychic, Lele in the building. And today we got another reading, so go ahead and get your drinkity drink, go get your snackity snack, and let's get it popping. Now, as you see, we have a new setup here, okay? And so this is the Dark Horse Den. And so this whole new setup really coincides with the astrology. So me personally, I have Cancer in the 8th house, and we just had a new moon in Cancer plus Jupiter being in Cancer, and so that's like amplified. So your girl dyed her hair, she changed her setup to be more scorpionic, and I think that's funny. And I was even looking at my decorations, I was like, this is kind of like Cancerian 8th house energy. But anyways, we're diving deep today, okay? So today's topic of discussion, people are saying that you are the medicine, and the wound cuts deep, but so do you. So yes, yesterday as I'm recording this, we had that new moon in Cancer, and so prior to that, you might have noticed like a lot of intense emotions coming up to the surface. Like something triggered you inside. Wherever you have Cancer in your astrological chart, check that out, and it's going to really give you a clue as to like the themes that you're going to be dealing with. So this new moon in Cancer really brought up a lot of wounds. I'm hearing especially if you have like Chiron in Cancer, but these are childhood wounds in regards to safety and security. Something triggered you, okay? And so let's use this as an example. Let's say that you get on Facebook, right? And like you're trying to kind of like numb yourself in a way. Like even though there's a lot of chaotic things going on around you, like you're trying to stay grounded. So maybe one of the things that grounds you is getting on your phone just to see what's going on the Facebook. And then you see a picture of somebody you went to school with, but they've grown up, they've changed, and they've had a little add-ons in their life. They have a husband, they have kids. And in this picture, you see them laughing and having a good time. Now, usually you'd probably just scroll past it. You're like, eh. Or you'll usually just like it because you're like, oh, that's my old friend from high school. But this time you had a different reaction. Whether you're the type of person who gets the icks from those types of photos, or you're one of the people who loves supporting people like that, this photo triggered you. Because leading up to this, you already had a lot of like emotional turmoils coming up to the surface and just feeling stressed out about life. So this photo triggered this part of yourself that recognized something was missing. And then out of nowhere, you just start crying. And it's like you actually have clarity of what it is that you know that's missing in your life. And maybe you were coping in ways that were not healthy, whether it's like overeating or overspending, just anything to fill the void. But now you finally have this revelation that what's missing is a place to call home. Now, like I said, wherever you have Cancer in your chart, that's where it's going to be most amplified for you. So themes and topics in regards to security, safety, nostalgia. So now in the season of your life, you're finally reclaiming your identity. So I'm hearing as a child, you naturally bared this bright light inside of yourself. I'm seeing a child who is happy. I'm seeing the sun. You were born into this earth as a sensitive creature. You're a natural born empath. So there might have been a lot of like chaos going on in your upbringing in your home growing up, and you felt like it was your job to keep it together. So as an empath, you have this natural ability to see what people need. People don't even have to vocalize what they need. You just intuitively see the situation and you know exactly what people really need for themselves to feel comfortable. You were the type of person to take the shirt off of your back for somebody. But unfortunately, as an empath, sometimes it's hard to see where your energy starts and where somebody else's energy starts. So I'm hearing that you didn't really have boundaries. And so I'm hearing you would cross the line and overgive, overshare, to the point where you didn't have anything. And in the past, this has been reflected in your relationships as well, where you become a chameleon and you just morph into whoever you need to be in that moment for whoever. But in doing that, you lost a sense of identity. And so maybe the past couple of years, you've kind of put up this hard exterior, and it's been hard for you to connect with people on a soul level because it seems like everybody just wants something out of you, or they only keep you around because you have something to offer. I'm hearing every time you would try to speak up for yourself, you were holding spaces for people, yet nobody wanted to hold space for your needs. We have light into darkness. In this card, I was hearing Spirit say, pouring the light into the darkness, but how much is enough? And so physically, it's like you just shut down completely. It's like going from really empathic and like being overly open to being the complete opposite where you just close yourself off. But whenever you do this, it turns into an internal chaos where the waters don't have anywhere to go. And so there's this energy of stagnancy. So whatever trigger happened for you leading up to this new moon in Cancer, It came into your awareness because you're ready for change. It came into your awareness because you've been asking for a sign. I just want to say that you were never too much. You were not wrong for speaking the truth in situations. And as an empath, the medicine can become poison for people who are not ready to heal. But I'm hearing that you're ready to heal. Your too muchness is not a poison. I'm hearing that Spirit had to break you open so the light could pour through you. So this season, Spirit's saying that the question that needs to be asked is, what do I need? So now that you're finally having this revelation, you can finally get to living. Not for anybody else, but for yourself. We have the portal card coming through here. The portal card says, adventure, ancestors, and calling. Are you ready? Are you ready to let your walls down? Are you ready to ask the universe for what you truly desire? And we have the energy card coming through. So this card says power, aura, and depletion. Call your energy back to you. And this is what you're finally doing. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm hearing this song by the Pussycat Dolls. It goes, I don't need a man to make it happen. I get off living free. I don't remember the lyrics, okay? But that song's like saying, I don't need somebody to fulfill me. That you don't need somebody to recognize your beauty. I'm also hearing a message come through because in the dice roll, we had the 7th house in Scorpio and the 12th house in Taurus. I'm hearing in all relationship dynamics, it just seemed like whenever you were being your raw, most authentic self, it's like that Katy Perry song, Part of Me. You chewed me up and spit me out like I was poison in your mouth. The thing about poison is that poison is also the antivenom. And so now you're finally coming into full acceptance of who you are and what you desire for yourself. I'm hearing that George Michael song come through now. If my best isn't good enough, then how could it be good enough for two? And this season, you're loving those who love you. And no longer giving space to people who don't give that same energy back. Spirit's saying that it's safe for you to dream again. It's safe for you to be soft. That's why you had that hard exterior, is because as that sun, that source of energy and vitality, but it's like the world sucked you dry is how it felt. And so that's the reason why you shut down this empathic part of yourself for so long. I'm hearing that you didn't even realize you've been walking in autopilot. And now we have the wild card coming through. That's ironic because we also have Lilith, okay? And so Lilith represents being rejected and misunderstood. You did come here to be the medicine for the world. And when people are open to your depth, you carry a love that's like no other. But people who can't handle your depth, they'll mistake the antidote as poison. Spirit's saying the best way to help others is to help yourself. I'm hearing that your natural default is this energy of joy, but you were disconnected from it for so long you didn't even realize that's who you are. You didn't realize that you were missing joy in your life. But it's like the environment that you've been in wasn't giving you permission to cultivate joy. I'm hearing Spirit say that joy is the antidote. And when I say joy, I'm not saying instant gratification. I'm saying the joy of petting your cat, or watering your flowers, or cleaning your home and having a clean home to walk into. That definitely does coincide with cleaning. I'm hearing something about cleaning your space, especially with Mars currently being in Virgo. And so the big question that you're asking yourself is, how can I cultivate more joy? And what's going to get me closer to that energy? This has been the secret ingredient this whole time. You're returning back to this energy. So let's go ahead and get it popping with some tarot. Okay, so Spirit, tell me more about this energy. We have the Devil coming through. So that's funny because the Devil is actually represented by the sign of Capricorn. And Capricorn is the opposite sign to Cancer. So this is what you're walking away from. You're walking away from always getting into Saturn energy when it's unnecessary. I'm hearing struggle was unnecessary. Holding back was unnecessary. Living in survival mode was all unnecessary. And you're walking away from the lie that you have to do the most, that you have to prove something to be valid. We have the Hanged Man in the reversal. This is showing me that you hung around in energies for longer than you needed to. Wow, we have Death coming through. What was I just saying about the antidote? You're finally walking away from these toxicities and coping mechanisms. There were certain coping mechanisms that you fell into default in because it gave you a sense of security and safety. But that security and safety was very much short-term lived. And now you're looking to the long term. The Four of Wands, I'm hearing the return to innocence. This is feeling welcomed and at home with yourself, wherever you go. Spirit's saying that home isn't just where you live, it's where you are internally. The Devil energy is representing the lie that you felt bound to. The lie that, oh, I'm just worth my physical vessel. I'm not worth my soul and my spirit. So coming back to the 7th house in Scorpio energy, followed by the 12th house in Taurus, like I said, polar opposite energies. And so these relationship dynamics, I'm hearing that it felt like you had to sacrifice your truth in order to survive that dynamic. Like I said, being a chameleon. But you're dissolving the chameleon costume. You might have recently started vocalizing your needs in your relationships. There was a fear of speaking up for yourself because you were rejected time and time again in the past. But Spirit's saying because Jupiter is in Cancer this season, there's this energy of clear communication between you and other people. So either you've already had the conversation with people what you really need to feel safe and secure, or you're being called to vocalize your needs with people. Spirit's saying that this is the season where you vocalize those needs. You're getting the green light right now is what I'm hearing. And there's this fear of, will they stay if I vocalize my honest truth? Oh my gosh, we have the Page of Cups, the High Priestess, the Ace of Cups, and everything is fine. Okay. So this energy coming through is exactly what I was just mentioning. So with the High Priestess, this is your energy. The High Priestess is Cancer energy. But like I said, knowing what other people need. Spirit's calling you to be open to that same energy. Let people love you. Let people help you. Like I said, you had to be cracked open. The everything is fine card is like the 10 of Swords, of betrayals. And so that's the reason why you would lie in dynamics and be like, no, I'm fine. I don't need anything. But you did need something. You needed to know that you were safe in these dynamics, or that you belonged. The 5 of Pentacles did just flip out as I was shuffling just now. Okay, so like I said, like energies of feeling abandoned, okay? These abandonment wounds that came to the surface. Affirm this down below. I am the antidote. It's safe for you to feel again. Wow, okay. So the Devil card's clarified with the 10 of Wands. So this has been a time period of releasing and purging, and letting go of any heavy baggage has been weighing you down. The triggers made you aware of this deep-rooted fear of survival. The triggers made you aware of this deep-rooted insecurity. And with the Hanged One in the reversal clarified with the 8 of Wands, this is amazing. You're jumping out of that old timeline of survival mode. I'm seeing somebody finally like unzip their human suit. Have you ever seen that meme of the alien that's unzipping his human suit? That's what it's giving. You're finally letting the real you shine. I'm hearing that you're having to reintroduce yourself to yourself. It's like you're getting reacquainted with yourself. This more lighthearted, magical side of yourself. So with the Death card, we have the Magician. This is transformation energy. Like I said, you are the antidote. The Death card represents letting the old die off and letting the new be reborn with this Magician energy. Calling your energy back from all corners of the earth that made you forget your superpowers. You are a superhuman empath. And although your gifts feel burdensome sometimes, you came here to shine your light. And although that light was taken advantage of, you're finally having the courage to shine anyways. Like this season, you're finally risking it all. You're allowing yourself to be seen fully for who you truly are, as this bright beacon of light. You're done playing safe is what I'm hearing. So with the 4 of Wands, we have the Queen of Pentacles. It's like you're getting out of survival mode. And this season, you're not just going to be surviving, you're going to be thriving. Oh my gosh, at the bottom of the deck, we have the Fool, we have the 2 of Cups, and we have the 10 of Pentacles. And we do have the Moon card, yeah, and the Knight of Swords, King of Swords, and the Ace of Swords. That's beautiful. And the Lovers, and the Sun. Oh, it can just keep going on and on. More water sign energy coming through with the Knight of Cups, okay? Or the King of Cups. All right, so this is a beautiful energy coming through. This is a season where, like, your truth is actually heard and recognized. Affirm this down below. All of my needs and wants are met. I'm hearing you're creating the opposite of the chaos that you came from. You might have come from a rootless background in your childhood, but you're finally coming to this place of inner security and balance. You're realizing that there's no problem when you're the solution. This is like living by faith and just letting your voice be heard. Let your voice be known. And I love this because there's this energy coming through in regards to your relationship dynamics with the 2 of Cups. The Devil and the Lovers are actually reflections of each other. So the Devil card represents feeling like you don't really have a choice, feeling bound to one path. It can also represent addictions and coping mechanisms. But the Lovers is saying that you always had a choice. It's like Dorothy on The Wizard of Oz. She always had the choice to come back home to herself. And you're realizing that you no longer have to play that victim narrative or suffer in silence. This is what it's giving. Like, you're no longer suffering in silence anymore. So you just went through your Phoenix phase, where you were confronted with the trigger and the truth. And you finally come into acceptance of the pain. The reason why the phoenix burns is because it doesn't resist the fire. So these triggers came up because you're finally ready to accept this truth. So now you're walking out of the holy fire. And I know it was painful and it was uncomfortable. But like I said, Jupiter energy also rewards. But you get the reward after going through the purge of the fire. And so now Jupiter is blessing you with a place to call home, where you finally have a sense of belonging. This season, you're finally getting rooted in yourself. You're setting roots so you can grow tall. And it's in the simple day-to-day routines is what I'm hearing. Breathing life back into your life. Breathing beauty back into your life. So the gifts of Jupiter are ready to bless you. And I'm also hearing, because you passed the initiation test, I'm hearing 2 messages come through. You're going to have a windfall of abundance happen because you finally purged the old. And now you have space for something new to blossom. The second thing that I'm hearing Jupiter and your ancestors are blessing you with are new talents and abilities. And so your intuition is going to be heightening because you've reconnected with this empathic part of yourself. Because to be an empath and a psychic, sometimes it's knowing things that's uncomfortable. But whenever you finally allow yourself to face the truth, it strengthens your intuition. So now you're finally coming to this realization that the pain and the darkness was actually medicine to reconnect you with your real self. So like I said in the beginning, the wound cuts deep, but so do you. Now I'm hearing, let's see how deep we can take this. Let's see how deep we can really go. All right, so this is the reading I have for you, darling. If it resonated, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. Hit that little notification bell so you don't miss out, all right? Until next time, you have a blessed and wonderful day. Ta-ta.